first question, set of questions. True or false? The Trump administration looked into the importation of lower cost prescription drugs from Canada. Is this true or false? Okay, so Gabe says true.
False.
True.
John says false. Izzy says
False.
true. Carlito.
It's true, but I'll explain why it's like barely true.
Okay, so John, you're the only one that got this wrong. Everybody else got this right. Now, I have the receipts, but is it worth it to bring up the receipts, or I don't want to delay this show?
He looked into it, but it was after the fact, after he lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't ask that question right there, because you talk about like was it pre-election or after election? So you kind of like
here we go. Now we got to do a recap.
So after
No.
a fun fact after Trump was elected, there was a bipartisan bill in Congress that was in the Senate for drug reimportation from other countries, including Canada. And it had bipartisan support, Democrats and Republicans. And who were the ones that voted it down? The Democrats and Republicans that got paid by the pharmaceutical company. So we could have already had reimportation of drugs from other countries. For example, insulin is something that's always brought up as a drug that is much cheaper in other countries, whether it's Canada or Mexico. People drive over the border to go get their cheaper prescription and then come back, because it's more efficient to do that sometimes than to get it here.
You're talking about the vote like years ago when it happened?
Yeah. That vote was very early on. It was either it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the Trump administration where that came up, like the first year. Yeah. Ted Cruz was a co-sponsor on it too, I think.
So here's the receipt. I think what Gabe was referring to was I think Cory Booker was like one of the people that voted it down, right?
It was January 2017. It was so it was basically literally the last days of the Obama administration, right before Trump came in. Progressives were outraged that Cory Booker voted against it, and then we all said, of course he did.
So this is my receipt where it talked about, this is an actual document from the hhs.gov website, where it says, under President Trump's leadership, blah, blah, blah. And basically, he did look into it, but did they actually do anything about it after they looked into it? And that's new. All right, so the next question, all right, true or false? The Trump administration canceled student debt for certain Americans. Is that true or false?
True.
Izzy says true.
And I know which ones.
True.
See, you gave it away now. He knows.
I could be wrong.
He could be wrong.
True. Me. I'm wrong about a lot of things.
Yeah, it's true.
Gave the clue.
All right, so it is true. The answer is true. Everybody got that right. His education secretary canceled student debt automatically for 25,000 disabled veterans, implementing part of the Higher Education Opportunity Act of 2008. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is one of the things that Biden can do when he becomes president. He has the authority to take away the student loan debt for people who have federal loans. And I think there's like $1 trillion or more worth of federal student loans.
That Vidon said that he allegedly did it only for those who went to Trump University, which is hilarious.
All right, funny. Third one, true or false? Trump administration went around Congress to create regulation to make it harder to get food stamps. Is that true or false?
I would say true.
True.
Going off of everything else, I'm gonna say true, because everything.
You gotta throw some curveballs, man.
Yeah, I do.
The first two were curveballs. You wouldn't think that Trump looked into lowered prescription drug prices and canceled student loan debt. That's a curveball.
Yeah. All right. So it is true. Though. Go ahead, John. You got that? So far, you're the only one that's not ahead. Everybody else is above. All right.
But you're only down by one, so you got plenty of time to catch up.
You got time to catch up.